Hello and welcome to this FBF live stream emergency escape podcast. Hello. My name is John and I am Final Boss Fights resident tech ninja and the Minecraft server done a doo-doo.
Doo-doo.
Something done broke with it. I'm noticing that my head is very big. Let me roll back in my chair a little bit. The Minecraft server isn't too happy with me right now. Possibly it has something to do with an encroachment of pigmen from the Nether. And so instead of doing the Minecraft stream that I was planning to do...
Those guys are really annoying pigmen from the Nether. I have a severe case of pigmen from the Nether.
Yeah. I am going to discuss the news with Geoff in traditional Final Boss Fight Emergency Escape podcast style-y.
Yes, except this time we're not playing Elite Dangerous.
Yes, or driving in a car.
Yeah, what is this you brought us to, John?
This is just kind of sitting around, chatting. We're going old school with it, man.
Yeah.
Way old school with it.
Way old. No, way old school is everybody sat round a microphone. That's way old school.
Middle school with it.
Oh, that's gone.
I mean, who knows? Other people might turn up and take part in this as well. Geoff, do you want to get a tweet going out there so that we might get some viewers in?
I can try that. Have we got a link for this? Is there a link?
There will be a link. This is the streaming. Channel? This is live on the YouTube.
Got it.
Have you downloaded the Destiny 2 beta yet, Geoff?
I've not yet, no.
Because it's open this weekend.
I saw that.
I don't know how it is that every single beta test for the last 2 years or so that I've had any remote interest in has managed to schedule itself perfectly for weekends when we are filming Fantasy Adventure. It is as if the beta test community just went out of their way to schedule beta tests the one weekend of pretty much every month that we do a filming session on, such that I legitimately don't have the time and haven't had the time to sit down with, I think, any beta that's been out in the last 2 years or so. It just seems to slap bang perfectly land on the weekend when we're out filming. So I don't know what's going to happen after this, because I think betas from now on might just be cancelled because we finish filming Fantasy Adventure tomorrow.
Yeah, this is the last ever beta for anything.
This is the last ever beta anyone's going to do for anything. Let me see if I can grab the chat. I don't know what actually happens with the chat for this. So, I just saw the thing. I just saw the stream itself, and Streamception.
That's always fun. Hangoutception is fun.
So I've been looking at news. Ark Survival Evolved.
Yes.
You know that's an early access game, right?
I've heard that it's an early access game, yes.
Have you heard how much it costs now to get in on the early access to it?
I've heard they've put it up to full price.
They've put it up pretty significantly.
Do you know why they've put it up to full price? Did you read that part of it?
I'm going to guess it's because they're coming out soon?
They're coming out soon, and it's retailers said that they wouldn't sell the game for full price if it was going to be sold at a much cheaper price digitally. That's their reasoning for it.
That makes perfect sense. Like, why would you go to a brick and mortar shop and pay 50 quid when you can sit at home and download it for 25?
Yeah. So the response to that has been, okay, we'll put the digital up to full price now so the retailers will be willing to buy it.
I don't like it.
Having said that, I haven't seen a lot of physical PC games in retailers, like latest releases in retailers recently.
No.
Then again, I don't normally go to physical retailers for games anymore, really,
I gotta say,
because of the whole digital thing.
I've not done it myself recently a lot either. I mean, I've been buying either through Amazon or digitally.
Digitally, mainly for me. I
don't know what it is
what the
about
last
this.
physical game I got was.
I
I can't actually remember what the last physical game I got was. It may have been Dishonored 2. That's what we've got here. I've got some boxes
I think
handy here.
Dishonored 2 was amongst the last ones I actually bought in a shop. Just for the convenience of having it show up at my home. Like, it was fine when I worked near the game shop. And I imagine it would be fairly similarly fine if I could easily get to the game shop. But sort of where I work at the moment, even if I was able to drive, I don't know where I'd drive to. Like, there's nowhere within driving distance, really, of where I work to buy games. Like, in a lunch break type scenario, going out for lunch, hour-long period, like half an hour away from work, I suppose you could get into Bishop Stortford Town Centre, and there is a game there, but it's not easy to get to.
I think the nearest game to me... Oh, where is it? No, I think it's Oxford Street. Definitely Hamleys. I think they still got a game. We don't see many of them around anymore, that's the thing.
Yeah.
But going back to Ark, I remember seeing a thing on PC Gamer about this, the way pricing used to work on Steam. And people would complain that different countries would have different pricing plans. Like, the absolute best thing to do was to register a card in Russia and get your games from Russia, because they would price their games dirt cheap, and the reason for that was they would price based on the actual physical media the game was on, rather than the actual game content itself. But I don't.
So they price it based on it was a CD.
They price it based on it normally comes on a CD, therefore we will price it based on the equivalent of a CD, based on the equivalent as if it was on a CD, which basically meant it was absolutely dirt cheap. And everybody's like, we started buying their games through Russia because it was absolutely dirt cheap. Because again, why would you buy, why would you spend your money on one outlet, in this case digital, if it's so much more than the physical outlet? Pricing is weird.
Makes sense.
Pricing is weird. I'm sure they don't do that anymore. But I think going back, talking about pricing generally as a whole, when the 3DS first came out, it was $250. Do you remember that?
The 3DS, yeah, I remember that.
$250, but in Europe or in the UK it was £250, and we were wondering why is that?
Yeah, I love that conversion rate.
The reason for it is that apparently our economy, our markets can handle that pricing point. So it's based on it's based on the fact that we're all rich, therefore they'll charge us more for stuff.
The other point with a lot of Nintendo consoles of Nintendo is they don't set a price in the European market because they got stung for it a while back. So they don't set they just say, this is roughly what you guys should charge for it, but you deal with putting the price sticker on. But it should be about this. As far as I understand, that's how it went for a while.
And they would say, oh, we'll take that and we'll add another 50% on top of that.
Yeah. It's kind of what they did with the price of games when they did the generation jump, because games like both PS3 and Xbox 360 games and PS4 and Xbox One games were recommended retail price 50 quid.
But the previous generation, they were only like 30 quid, weren't they, if I remember rightly?
Well, the PS3 and Xbox 360 games, stores all said, oh, okay, we'll slash the prices by £10 and we'll get you in. In the generation gap. happened, and stores went, extra money. Like money. Dean Hall commented, just so we're clear on my opinion, because apparently everybody wanted his opinion. The price increase for Ark is ****ing outrageous block capitals.
How do you block capital with star?
The outrageous is in.
Oh, okay.
Sean says that she would come and say hi, but her internet is too slow.
Yes. Okay. Get fast. Sean's internet go faster then.
Jeremy, that accusation has been put to Jeremy Steiglitz.
Let me actually get this.
Lead programmer, development director, and co-founder of the studio, by Eurogamer, who said that that's a little rich coming from Dean Hall, a person who didn't even finish his own game. Yeah. When he finishes a game, I will look forward to playing it.
Yeah, I've just got the PC Gamer up on it now. But yeah, it's difficult. If it's going to go to physical release, it's difficult. What do you charge for it? Like, do you keep the digital release lower? It's a lot of things now. The digital prices are coming more in line with the physical prices, even though they should, by definition, be cheaper.
Yeah, pricing is a huge and complex thing, and I don't want to really touch on it because it's super hard to people on the internet and talking about pricing. This is dangerous territory to go into.
Yeah.
Well,
they got that
because everybody wants everything for nothing. But
PC Gamer's got a link to the article about pricing and stuff. I remember this. I remember reading this last time. It's a different article. Anyway, and now I'm looking at a picture of Gabe Newell in his King outfit with the price reductions raining down around him. Representative of the Steam sale, I believe.
That sounds about right.
But then you say you open the question of if they can sell that on Steam in the Steam sale, why don't they sell it for that all the time?
Because it's a sale. That's how sales work.
This is true.
It's a special offer. It's Comic-Con time of year again.
Oh, San Diego?
San Diego Comic-Con specifically. We're not there
because money, fees,
we don't have the money.
Expensive. Get on that, John. You need to get on that.
And so Marvel has unveiled more of its upcoming fighting game, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. Specifically, they've talked about 4 new characters that are going to be in it. Overnight, Final Fights Hagar, Marvel Spider-Man. Overnight, Hagar, Spider-Man, Resident Evil's Nemesis, and Dead Rising's Frank West were shown for the first time. It's hard to glean too much information from the gameplay snippet, but it looks like Spider-Man has a new level 3 super, so he doesn't have his maximum spider move anymore. And there is also a stage of the game with Marvel supervillain MODOK floating in the background.
Oh.
Which is cool. I wonder if they're going to have alternative MODOKs, because alternative MODOKs could have been interesting with one very specific alternative MODOK in mind.
Which one?
They did just before the US election last year an alternative MODOK that was basically Donald Trump. Because, you know, politics.
Did you ever read the Marvel one-shot of MODOK? It's quite a while ago.
I don't think so.
It was a cartoony style version of it, where MODOK goes back to his high school. It's really good, actually.
Excellent.
It's really good. I got it on the Marvel digital app. I just find the title of it. I just find the title of
it. Comic book recommendations. Reading the new series they're doing called Deadpool Kills Again.
Here we are. Sorry, MODOK Rain Delay. That's what it's called. Definitely have a look at that. It's brilliant. Sorry, carry on. Yep.
I've just started reading Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe Again, in which Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe.
Yeah, I've heard of that. Yeah. Again.
Well, basically, they did a storyline that was a alternative universe storyline.
I remember the Deadpool Killology, as they called it.
Deadpool killing the Marvel Universe. And then they also have done Deadpool versus the Marvel Universe, in which everybody else is infected with a horrible zombie virus, except Deadpool. And then this is another one where some bad guys have done the brilliant thing of planting hypnotic triggers in Deadpool. And so he's murdering the heroes off. Because
I think the way the original story started off is quite interesting. It's basically a take that at Batman and the Joker, wasn't it? If I remember right.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Because like Batman always cuts Joker off to Arkham Asylum. And I always said, okay, we'll try that with Deadpool. We'll cut him off to Arkham Asylum. And now he's just going to get out and start killing everyone.
Yeah. Basically, he was cured of his inner voices by the Psycho Pirate.
Yeah.
And the problem was the two inner voices that you always saw were just masking another inner voice. Few video gaming protagonists are as iconic as the Doom Marine, which is kind of odd as we only see him from a first-person perspective.
And the box art. I think it's the box art that's the focus of this story.
And the little head in the bottom of the screen.
Yes.
Who slowly gets more and more beaten up. And just kind of does this.
What does he do? What does he do when he gets beaten up?
That was my act of the Doom guy head. Romero recently revealed the story on his blog, and it turns out Romero was not intended to be the model for the Doom guy. The cover artist illustrator Don Punchatz. Sorry.
Don what? Sorry.
Punchatz. Don had hired a professional model for the role, but Romero and the model didn't see eye to eye, and the designer struggled to convey his vision of a Marine on a hill shooting down on an endless horde of demons. I kept telling the model what to do, but he couldn't see the scene in his mind. Frustrated, I threw my shirt off and told him to give me the gun and get on the floor, grabbed my arm as one of the demons. Defeated, he deferred, aimed the gun in a slightly different direction and told Don, "This is what I'm talking about." He ended up trying out several poses as the illustrator snapped photographs of Romero getting into the role. The rest is history. "I'm the Doom guy," Romero boasted of this little-known fact. "At least I'm the one on the cover."
So yeah, that's a thing. I'm sure that's a mystery that we all wanted solved.
Yeah, you know. Who was Doom guy? It was that guy. The guy that made the game.
Yeah.
Atari, you may have heard of them.
I've come across the name.
They've got an interesting idea coming soon. The speaker hat.
What?
Yeah, I know you thought I was going to talk about the console, didn't you?
I did. I thought you were going to talk about the console. Yeah.
This is a limited edition tie-in to Blade Runner 2049. The speaker hat is a joint project between Atari, whose logo features within the film, AudioWare, and collectibles manufacturer NECA. It is a baseball cap emblazoned with the Atari logo, with a high-fidelity speaker and a microphone that you can connect to Bluetooth devices should you wish to call or listen to music through your hat.
Yeah. Is this what you mean by talking through your hat?
Yeah. There will also be a multiplayer mode, meaning that you can stream the same audio stream to multiple hats in close proximity.
Okay.
So, yeah.
When do we get one?
Atari's speaker hat is in closed beta at the moment and is going to be extremely exclusive. The closed beta itself is going to have 10 hats. It doesn't actually mention how many if they're actually going to release more hats than that. But hats.
And interesting. Any other interesting news?
Do we want some more?
Do we want to talk about release dates and whether you should release a good game late or a poor game early?
I don't think there's any discussion on that topic.
You haven't heard anything coming out of Dream Daddy, have you?
Dream Daddy.
Let me send you a link.
Oh dear.
Let me send you various links.
While you find those links, I'm going to talk about another piece of news. The developers behind American Truck Simulator, which is, just rife with news, have updated their game to reflect real-world events, and for players, it means the closure of a section of one of the world's most iconic highways. SCS Software, not to be confused with the people that make sofas, closed down an offshore section of California's Pacific Coast Highway, aka Highway 1, after it suffered a devastating landslide in real life. In May, the Big Sur landslide saw the movement of 1 million tons of rock.
Just send you a thing, may come there. On the Hangout, the actual Hangout chat where you posted the link before.
Do I have that chat still? Where's that chat? Which of you is it? I don't think I have that chat still. Can you send it to me in Facebook?
I can do that, yep.
I can't see you.
There we go.
There we go.
Don't start with what the game actually is. We can talk about that a bit later on. The only reason I brought it up because one of our other streamers has been playing it.
I did notice another friend of ours playing that.
Yes, after eagerly awaiting it.
SCS has updated American Truck Simulator to reflect the highway's closure. With actually, it's literally just the landslide across the road with cones and a big sign saying Big Sur landslide.
That's so cool, actually, yeah.
It is legitimately just... It's in the game now.
And they're doing that while the road is closed. Presumably they'll open it up again once the road opens?
At this time, at this particular spot, we will not give but take. The next update will close the Highway 1 section, said the devs. They also said that the fate of Highway 1 depends entirely on the real-world events. The real-life authorities are yet to release a timetable for when the road will be cleared, so players of the video game will have to seek an alternative route for some time.
Is it? What's the scale of it? Do you know what the scale of that world is?
I don't. No, it doesn't tell me here. Let me see if it says on their website.
This is what you say, Highway Truck Simulator, didn't you?
American Truck Simulator.
That's the one.
So they are pretty close to one, I thought.
Upscale.
Pokemon Go.
I thought they had Pokemon Gone.
Pokemon Go has released their first ever legendary Pokemon this weekend.
Oh, it's a team event, isn't it?
It is. The first legendary Pokemon will make an appearance. You might need to get your walking shoes on, Geoff, because it's going to Chicago.
We can't even get to San Diego. How are we going to get to Chicago?
On your way to San Diego. Just stop off on the way. Okay, so the first Pokemon, legendary Pokemon, will appear at the Chicago Grant Park. Should players in the park and around the world manage to catch enough regular Pokemon. So this Saturday, the 22nd of July, Pokemon caught in the game will count towards a set of previously revealed bonuses. Catch enough, and the first legendary Pokemon will be released in Grant Park. If and when the players in Grant Park defeat this legendary Pokemon, it will start appearing in raid battles across the world. There's no word exactly on when this will happen, but it would make sense to begin during the 48-hour post-event window when the in-game bonuses are placed into effect. So this Saturday, i.e. tomorrow, if you're still watching this live or watching this fairly soon after live,
so lots of players are going to be there, and he's saying one person is going to come away with this thing.
I don't know how it's going to work because it's a raid thing, so I don't know if it's a. Like a big scale groupie thing. So yeah, basically, globally, from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. CDT, there are 3 challenge windows where players catching Pokemon within the park, depending on what type of Pokemon you catch, will release specific bonuses to everybody around the world. And then everybody around the world globally will contribute to those bonuses being extended. So if we only manage to catch the bronze tier, they get extended for 24 hours. The silver tier will increase that by 48 hours. And if we get to the gold tier, that means the mystery challenge will be unlocked, which is the legendary Pokemon, probably.
Ooh.
And then when that gets completed, assuming the thing occurs, major global reward will occur.
You know, you just reminded me of. Carry on.
What?
I'm just finding another news story that I saw recently.
They're being somewhat edgy about what that actually means. So I guess we'll just wait and see.
What you just reminded me of, did you read the story about the MMO Tibia and their mysterious door?
No.
This is from PC Gamer. The title of the article is "Only one player knows what's behind this MMO's mysterious door, and they aren't telling." For the past 10 years, Tibia, a nearly 20-year-old MMOR figure, has had a mysterious door located in a network of caverns on the jungle island of Benuta. This door, which from all appearances looks to be simply made of wood, has been the source of a decade of speculation. Earlier this week, it was finally unlocked, and like Pandora's box, unleashed madness on Tibia's community. So this is a door that you could only access if you were level 999.
Right.
The Benuta Gate of Expertise, as this door is officially known, is special for only one reason. You have to be level 999 in order to pass through it. When you approach it, ominous text appears above it and reads, "You see a gate of expertise for level 999. Only the worthy may pass." So a couple of players actually made it to 999. On Twitch, somebody was going to open the door. Let's see. Yeah, one player, Karsek, managed the incredible feat of over 5,000 people tuned in to watch a Twitch stream. I think this is August last year. But he decided he was going to be annoying about it and didn't want to go through the door at all. So so people got very frustrated with him because he just refused to go through this door after reaching it. What else? I think eventually he's trying to raise more money, trying to get more money out of people before he went through the door.
Right.
But eventually he did go through the door, and apparently it is a tiny island. People believe it's this tiny island with not a lot of special stuff in it at all.
Yay!
So it's just like people think it's a colossal waste of time. I'll just go to another page. So let's see. So yeah, one person has been through the door, knows exactly what's there, but he's deciding not to tell anybody. But people were thinking that maybe there's not much behind this door after all, and it was just there as a joke. So because the developers thought nobody would get to level 999.
Well, of course, nobody's going to get to level 999 until you put a secret door in that says "Get to level 999" and you can come on in.
I'll post this one on as well, I think. Yeah. Did you get that other link I sent you, by the way?
I did. I've got one more piece of news, and then I'll do that. Absolver could be one of the rare, genuine progressions in the fighting game genre. Like most fighting games, it will require patience, thought, and meticulous timing to succeed.
Wait.
But at the heart of the third-person brawling is an interesting and unique combat deck system that allows you to create your own combos.
Can you just run that by me? Run that first part of that sentence by me again, please.
Which bit?
The first part of that. What fighting games normally involve?
Like most fighting games, Absolver requires patience, thought, and meticulous timing.
I thought it was all down to button bashing.
There's a little bit of that too, yes. The combat deck will offer over 180 different moves, which can be used to create a multitude of sequences. Each sequence is made up of several general attacks and one alternative attack, the sequence finisher. Each sequence of moves starts from a different fighting stance. As you finish one attack, you slip effortlessly into another stance and ultimately another sequence of attacks. As you move your way through the game, you encounter different enemies who use different attack sequences and combat decks. Winning fights against these enemies allows you to gradually learn their attacks, with a bar gauging your progression towards the new attack. As you progress, your character progresses. Pierre, creative director at the Parisian indie studio Slowcap. As your character learns new attacks and becomes more skilled as a player, you learn it also. You learn how each sequence flows, how to time attacks effectively, and how to defeat certain enemies' fighting styles. Unfortunately, for the less patient among us, this comes with a Dark Souls level of death.
I prefer to go button bashing now. We go button bashing. That's probably the best way.
It looks interesting. From what I'm seeing, like the pictures of it, it looks interesting. I am going to look at the videos of it at a time when I can actually, watch a video of it. That's not a thing we can do here. They took that option out, I think. Yeah, no, I can't actually. I can mute you. That's fun. Yeah, no, I can't.
Oh, well.
Can't share a YouTube video anymore. Sad times. So you want me to talk about this game without mentioning the game?
No, you can talk. You can mention the game. Have you heard of this game before?
Yes, but not in great detail.
Shall I give you a bit of background as to what it's about?
Go ahead.
So,
I cede the floor to you.
Dream Daddy is a dating simulator, of which there are many of them on Steam. You know, the sort of thing where you move to a new area, there's lots of people in there, and you can get to know them, start flirting with them, date them, fall in love with them, so on and so on and so on.
They all kind of look the same sort of style with
they do, yes.
Character profile that doesn't really move.
What sets this one apart from the crowd is that you are a father, a dad, with your young child, and you've moved to the area. And in this area,
reasonable,
you meet other young dads with their children.
Right.
And it's they who you are trying to date.
Interesting.
Yep. There is a lot of eager anticipation for this game. Dating sims aren't really my thing, so I can't say I shared in that anticipation. I think it was Game Grumps was the studio, and people were eagerly waiting for it. The release date was originally July the 14th. July the 14th rolled around, and Game Grumps said, "Oh no, sorry, we found a whole load of bugs with this game. We can't release it today. We're going to have to work on it a bit more." And there was great division in the fan base. There are those who said, "Yes, you take as much time as you need. We want a good game," and then there were those who sent death threats to them.
The internet.
So yes, hence the article I just sent you, where they took the decision, and it actually says about they were going for like, and then in the end they decided, no, we can't do this for our very health and sanity. We can't carry on like this.
So yeah, here's their statement in the article you sent. Hey everyone, Vernon here. Today was supposed to be the release day of Dream Daddy, a dad dating simulator. We had been working under crunch conditions for the past 3 weeks, and going into today, we all felt confident that we could release a game to you. As it went later into the day, let me just double check. This was released at 8:56 a.m. our time.
Mm-hmm.
As it went later into the day, it became more apparent with more late game bug discoveries that this wasn't yet the version of the game we wanted to release. I checked in with all of the developers on the project with us, and while they were working as hard as they could, it was obvious that the last 3 weeks of sleep deprivation were taking their toll. We all sat down and talked to talk it through, ultimately deciding that we can't release the game tonight. We want to put out a good game that you all deserve, but to do that, it's going to take a little bit more time. The plan right now is that we're all going to go home, get 12 hours of much needed sleep, and then come back to you tomorrow with a new release date. I want to personally apologize to all of you who have been waiting patiently for this game. I am sorry for being silent while we were trying to figure out what to do. This wasn't an easy decision to make, but in the end, I think it will mean that you'll receive a game that you'll love as much as we do. Please feel free to reach out to me personally on Twitter. He gives his Twitter handle. If you have any questions. Thank you, Vernon.
You can guess what happened next.
While most responses have been understanding, there have been some negative ones too, with some saying that there had been a lack of communication. Shaw addressed this in further tweets. Regarding the lack of communication, says Vernon Shaw, we were nose down on this game trying to get it finished in time, which up until a few hours ago we were confident we could do. unexpected things happen in game dev, and it simply wasn't ready to go out. I don't know. I gotta say, it takes a lot to, on the day that it's meant to go out, at least be in the position to be able to say, it ain't ready yet.
They have the right to do that. They're the people making the thing. They have the right to say that, surely.
But I mean, it's also a case of a lot of the time, one, the day it goes out is going to be a long time after it's finished for a lot of bigger games. Like a lot of bigger games. Like obviously, this is a nice little indie game that is being developed by an indie studio. They're not doing a physical release, so it's not needed to go gold to go on discs to get to shops.
Just landed on my foot.
It's not needed to go on discs to get to shops to be sold in shops. So it's literally just a flick the switch. This game is live now on digital platform.
Yeah.
More people need this size of giant switch to flick. With the Jacob's ladders and everything, twiddly lights and buzzing.
No, I am on their side in this. I'm on this side that if you, being in software development myself, if like deadline comes and you find serious problems with it, you have to sit down and reasonably say, can we get this out, or do we start cutting back on what we can deliver?
I mean, obviously, the other thing to look at is, are the things that are stopping it from coming out, are they so grievously horrible that we can't fix it afterwards?
But then that
which obviously
isn't
an issue. It is not much of an issue anymore because you can patch a game.
But then that's when you start getting to things like Ubisoft and other companies as well, where they get accused of like releasing half-finished games, and people say, "Oh, if you want to take longer, take longer. We want a good game. If you want to take longer about it, take longer about it." So there's that balance you got to do between meeting the deadline, and you either do quick work. You either do quick work or you do good work, but you can't do both very much.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those difficult ones to come down on because, I mean, I don't work in software development, but I do work a lot with computing development side of things. And website development, video development, similar, not entirely the same as software development. And it is a case of sometimes you go, okay, that we can fix later, that we can fix later. They're not mission critical things.
I agree, yeah.
We can drop those, we can release it now, we can fix that next week, we can go home and get some sleep now. And I mean, one of the things with the companies like Ubisoft, the bigger companies that are releasing these games that are not finished, faceless characters and so forth, it could just be a case of they got to the day where it had to go gold, and it had to go gold that day because the guy holding the purse strings goes, this has to go gold today so that we get it out for this day because that's the day that we've said it's going to go out, and we get our money back that day. And they go, well, okay, we've now got X period between it's gone gold and it's coming out, where they're making the discs, they're shipping it to shops, where we can fix that. We can fix that. Oh God, we're not going to fix that.
That's when you get day one patches as well.
Which is obviously, that's what the day one patch is. It's them going, we shipped it with all of these bugs that we can squash. We can squash them. We can squash them. We can't squash all of them. We're going to squash most of them. Oopsie.
Actually, that's pretty much a fair comment of how software development goes. I just been in one of those situations very recently, to be honest.
It happens all the time. It happens with websites. It happens with, you sit down and you make something foolproof, and they make a better fool to press the button. You know,
but yeah, it's always like a difficult balance. I'm always on the side of, if you need more time to fix it, take more time to fix it.
Yeah, I mean it's one of those complex ones where
then it's when you got like
don't
big
know all
businesses
the
behind
things
you.
that happen in that studio.
Yeah. It's like if you've got like big publishing behind you, like like EA, like Ubisoft, like all the big companies, and they're bearing down on you, looking at you saying like, you've got to get this out on time. That's where you get the pressure from. It's not very often. It's not pressure from the customer base. It's pressure from the business that says you have to get it out on this time.
We've given you this stack of cash,
and then afterwards they say, why has it got all these issues in it? You say, well, it's because we had to get it out at this time, and we found all these things that we needed to do, and we couldn't do them because you didn't give us enough. That sort of thing, anyway.
Yeah.
On the other hand, day one patches are a good form of cutting down on the second-hand market, because then, like, if you get the day one patch, you get the day one patch because you bought the first-hand copy, or if you get the first-hand copy, it's like the business with Mass Effect 3 and the Prothean DLC.
Yeah.
If you bought a first-hand copy of it, you got extra content because you buy in a first-hand copy. If you bought a second-hand copy of it, you have to pay extra to get that same content. So it encourages more first-hand sales.
I mean, yeah, the day one.
So my fingers are going on camera. I'm just.
Xbox One users hit by bizarre My Little Pony message.
Hey.
Let's
investigate this one.
Let's read this news story, shall we? He said, reading the headline. Xbox One users have reported seeing a bizarre error message which talks about My Little Pony. The console alert, which discusses a particular episode of the My Little Pony cartoon series, has now popped up for multiple users. Xbox fans, confused by the pop-out, began screenshotting the message, and various users have posted the issue on Reddit. So I'm looking at a screenshot of this, and the error...
Read it out. Go, read it out.
The error message comes up as mock error title, and then the text underneath reads, "This would be some long description about the error. Read it and weep. And if you haven't looked up this phrase on the internet, please do. You will find a My Little Pony episode called Read It and Weep, Cloud Chasers and Wonderbolts. You'll never be forgotten."
I think I can tell you exactly what's happened there. I think you know what's happened there as well.
I guess that, yeah. Yeah. No, exactly what you think has happened has happened.
Yep. That's why you never let testers onto the production environment.
Fans put this issue to the Xbox corporate vice president Mike Ibarra via Twitter, who looked into the matter. He stated that a fix would be due shortly, and the message had only been intended for internal use. It
was a QA team, just like as you do, QA team just like writing nonsense messages to test a feature, and it obviously got left in. I saw one like that a couple of years ago on the BBC. Do you have the BBC News app?
Yeah.
Slightly. The other news apps are available, but in this case, everybody in the office where I work who has the BBC app all got a notification message, and it was exactly the same sort of nonsense message.
Yeah.
Obviously done by like a tester or some like internal like testing that had accidentally gone to live.
I was just thinking of one that... I mean, it's the same kind of thing as... Do you know why Halo on the PC got a higher age rating than on the console?
Go on.
Because this is a fun one if you didn't know this. And if you do know this, it's a fun one anyway.
It's a fun one anyway. I don't think I know it, but say it anyway.
Halo Combat Evolved came out on the PC, and for some reason it had a higher age rating than on the console. But the content was exactly the same. It was the same gunfights, it was the same language. They hadn't suddenly, dropped in a new scene where Master Chief came across the Covenant and swore like a soldier at them. What they had done was had to put a file name type for the maps. You know what the file name type turned out to be?
Go on.
.bum.
Wow.
So all of the maps in Halo Combat Evolved, if you opened up the game and looked in the back end and, you know, you hacked your way into it, all of these maps that you played on were saved in .bum files. Now, on its own, .bum is fine, except for the one guy in the office who decided to make the .ico for a .bum. So all of the .bum files had the same uniform icon of his own bum.
Oh dear.
So yeah, that's why Halo Combat Evolved on the PC has a higher age rating than Halo Combat Evolved on the Xbox, because of this developer's bottom.
Speaking of clangers of PC ports, did you ever hear about Gears of War on the PC?
I heard of it.
Did you hear what happened to it on the 30th of January 2009? Or near that date?
No.
I do remember reading about it, so I've just dug this up. I do remember reading about this near the time. So the title is this is dated 30th January 2009. Epic working to fix massive Gears of War PC bug. Epic is working on a fix for the PC version of Gears of War that has rendered the game suddenly and surprisingly unplayable for everyone. Gears PC owners who tried to fire up the game yesterday were met with a rather jarring response. An error telling them they cannot run the game without modified executable code. The error message tells users to reinstall the game, which unfortunately does nothing to correct the problem. As it turns out, the Windows digital certificates for Gears of War expired on January the 29th, keeping the game from launching.
Whoops.
The problem apparently caught Epic by surprise, as did the Gears community. We've been notified of the issue and I work with Microsoft to get it resolved. Sorry for any problems related to this. I'll post more once we have a resolution. In the meantime, Gears fans who just can't wait to kill more of the Locust Horde can work around the problem by simply setting the PC clock to dates prior to January the 27th, 2009. So that's one of my favourite ones.
Nintendo. Nintendo has launched
back to the present day.
crashing back to news of now, or a few days ago at the very least. Nintendo launched a mobile phone app for Switch owners for both iPhone, iPad, and Android. The app will let you voice chat with other Switch users and invite others to play via Facebook, Twitter, and WhatsApp. It will also offer game-specific information, for example, your online match history for Splatoon 2, which has just come out today.
Very short history.
In the UK. Apparently, Eurogamer were able to download the app, but sign-in was failing at the time that they wrote this article. And they suspect that's because Nintendo was still setting up the servers and making sure that everything was ready for when Splatoon 2 launches today. Voice chat requires you to connect your headset to the phone via a slightly cumbersome wired setup. There's no other option at the moment for that. And the app needs to be running in the foreground to actually allow you to voice chat.
Oh dear.
So if you decide at some point in the middle of this, you suddenly get a text message or someone gets a phone call, it drops you out of the voice chat on your Switch for you to answer the phone, for you to respond to the text message, for you to deal with something on social media.
Does it work? Does it happen if you get the notification as well? Because that sometimes interrupts.
don't know if it happens in that instance. I do know that it also doesn't work, as far as I've seen on other websites, it doesn't work if, say, your phone goes on to standby. It needs to be active
on the Switch app.
On the Switch app. It will drop you straight back in that same chat room when you go back into the game. Like when you go back into the app, if you were in a chat room and you left, it will drop you back into that room. So after you've answered the phone call to your mum, you then go straight back into the game.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. It's cool. I had another piece of news and I've lost it.
I've got any news?
I've got 2 more at least. 3 more, and then I'm going to wrap up.
Okay.
Unless you think else.
Don't think so, no.
If Mr. Rossetti hasn't taught you already, it's bad form to quit in the middle of playing a Nintendo game. If you rage quit from Splatoon 2, Nintendo will warn you with a cheeky message from Nintendo within the game that was viewable. Quit too many times, the warning suggests, and you'll get a timed ban.
Okay, that seems fair.
So the message that comes up on the screen if you rage quit from the game: your previous online play session didn't end naturally, which is pretty suspicious. If this keeps happening, we're going to have to block you from playing online for a while. Make sure your internet isn't busted and try again.
Okay.
So yeah, don't rage quit on Splatoon. George A. Romero passed away this week.
I saw
that. Considered by many to be the godfather of the zombie genre. His huge influence can be seen throughout films, television, and video games because everybody loves a good zombie. Numerous names in the films and video games industry have paid tribute to Romero and his legacy. Hideo Kojima tweeted that Dawn of the Dead changed my life when I was 15. Neil Druckmann tweeted that as a student, I had the privilege of briefly working with you. The Last of Us wouldn't have existed without you.
Mm-hmm.
Hideki Kamiya tweeted, George A. Romero, he was very important for Resident Evil 1 and 2, sad face.
Mm-hmm.
John Smedley tweeted, R.I.P. George Romero, thank you for the zombies. Guillermo del Toro tweets that Romero has passed away. Hard to find words right now. The loss is enormous. Joss Whedon says, no one mined the zombie metaphor like Romero after he invented it. No one has come close. R.I.P. and thank you to the great film artist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, basically, people be sad.
Indeed.
Which is understandable, really, because he did a lot of films. And he also guest starred in Call of Duty. So if you want to see what he's doing now, he's a playable character in Black Ops. Where you can go and play as him to kill lots of the zombies that he, I guess, wouldn't be in the game if he hadn't made the films. And finally, for this weird FBF Emergency Escape live stream, Kingdom Hearts fans, I know you're out there.
Mm-hmm.
You a Kingdom Hearts fan, Geoff?
Not really, no. No.
Well, Kingdom Hearts 3 is going somewhere that they've not gone before. Toy Story.
Yes, I've seen pictures of this, and I'm quite impressed by it. It looks... People have been putting screenshots up comparing in-game to the original movie, and everybody's been saying the in-game actually looks almost identical, if not slightly better than the original movie.
It's difficult to see a difference between the two, really. It's incredible at this point how far graphics has gone, that we're getting to the point that it's indistinguishable. I know the film was, 22 years old? Came out in 95?
I found something.
Anyway,
I found something as for and finally.
Okay.
Going through the 4 months on BioWare, still patching Mass Effect Andromeda face animations.
Oh yes.
Yes, they're still patching up, and on the social medias there's differences split between don't do any more, Mass Effect is dead, and where's the single player DLC for the Quarian arc. That's a whole different thing we can talk about later on. We may have touched on it before. Here we go. Firewatch dev reproduces Game Universe's trashy paperback book in real life for one fan. Firewatch developer Campo Santo and the publisher Panic Incorporated are no strangers to together for breaking merchandise. One of the game's strangest features is that you can find a disposable camera in 1980s Wyoming, take pictures in-game, then pay the publisher to send you physical copies of these, complete with all the packaging of fictitious photo development company Photodome. It's a neat trick, but with its latest labour of love, Campo Santo has really outdone itself. On the studio's merchandise store, there's an option to buy blank journals designed to look like the paperback pot boilers you can collect in Firewatch's forest. It's a cute piece of forceful baking fandom with some pretty nifty details, like a fake order form for the fictitious publisher tucked inside the back cover. This order form for the made-up book publisher Red Panda has a selection of various fictitious books to buy. These early 80s paperbacks have such titles as Roger That, Over and Out, The Boy Who Was a Cat, and Love at First Sight. Each one is listed with a price next to it that seems in keeping with the currency of the era. This order form was meant to be a gag, just another fun detail in this clever piece of merch. But then a fan decided to take Campo Santo up on this and actually sent in the order form. They even included the proper amount of cash to buy the non-existent book and get it shipped back to them. So Campo Santo did the only thing it knew it needed to do. It made the book. The title in question was called Love at First Sight, a part of Mo Mallow's Road of Desire series. A few hours of illustration by Claire Hummel, a few more hours of design by Jake Rodkin, and a little elbow grease in the form of creative writing by me, Sean Bannerman, and voila! One copy of Love at First Sight ready for our friend, the developer said.
That's incredible.
While the developer made this magic happen for this fan, it noted it won't keep doing this above and beyond novelty. In fact, the dev even included a letter to this fan from the fictional publisher that this is the last book in their warehouse.
Damn it! That's incredible.
It's great, isn't it? So there you are. If you find any funny order forms or anything like that, send them back in. You don't know what you might get.
Incredible. Anyway, that is this. This has been that, and we have been us.
Yes. I've been me. I think I've been me. Have I been me?
Somewhere down here, there's a subscription button. Please hammer that one.
Down here. Hold on, is that mirrored me? Is it going to be that one?
I don't know. Is it over here then?
Wait. So, okay, you're pointing in the right direction apparently. Am I pointing in the right direction? No, it is this one here that I've got this hand here. Yeah, no, you're right with the other arm. The other arm was right.
Good. There's a subscription button over here. There's a comment box down below.
There's a chat over there somewhere, which won't be used now.
Bye, guys. It was something
interesting,
and we'll be back at another time with another thing. It might be more games. Hopefully, we will play some games at some point. But we'll also do more of this talking because I like talking. We might try and drag other people on here.
Yay!
And if I can find my mouse, I'll even end this stream. Bye, guys.
Bye bye.